This how-to is going to be all about how to use the PayPal test mode, or also known as like a sandbox mode, within Convertri. So this would mean that you can set up a complete checkout on your page, and then you can see what your user would see when they decide to make a PayPal purchase without actually being charged. This is just really good insight to check that your actual checkout works and that it looks exactly how you'd want to, but you don't have to buy your own product. Like I said, this is just for PayPal. There is a separate video on how to do this for Stripe. And also, before this, we would advise that you integrate PayPal. You can't test PayPal without integrating it within Convertri. So make sure that you've watched the video on that as well. They're all available at www.help.convertri.com. So once you're integrated and you also have a product in mind that you would like to test, then you are ready to get going. So open up the page which you would like to add the test to see what your checkout would look like. We're going to be doing this on the modal checkout today, so Convertri's modal checkout. So we need to add a open checkout box first of all so that we are able to access the checkout. So go to Form Elements and select Submit. And then set this button to open checkout. I'm just going to also label it open checkout so that we don't have any confusion. This is an open checkout button set to the right mode. We need this in order to be able to open the checkout. Next thing we need to do is configure the actual product itself on the page. So go to Products on the top hand toolbar and select a product that you would like to test, what it looks like, and then here down the side, as usual, you can see your normal things, whether you want to add them or not to your checkout. But what you will need is a redirect URL. If you don't want to edit all of this, fine, but you will need a redirect URL. This is just a page that your user will be taken to once they make a purchase. And I have one of those that I use, so I'm going to paste it in here. And the next and final thing that we'll need in order to set this up is, normally you will see this is in live mode. Live mode has got the black background on it. Select test mode. You'll know that it's test mode because you'll get these two messages here. So copy and paste the Stripe payment card, but more importantly, there'll be PayPal payments will be processed using your Sandbox balance. Your Sandbox balance is another way of kind of saying like your fake balance, like it's not real. So once you've got all this set up, click Save and Close. And we can see that products doesn't have like a little tick like it would if it was in live mode. It has a little yellow test message, which lets us know that it's ready to be tested to check that this checkout works. So publish your page. And then we're going to go onto the live page and we're going to check it out. But we actually need a Sandbox account itself in order to test this. We can't just use any old PayPal account. If we are in test mode, we need to use a test account. And this can be found in your PayPal developers login. So you will have used this developer's account to integrate PayPal itself, but if that was a while ago for you, don't stress. Just go to www.developers.paypal.com and you will be able to get this. So I've logged in on a separate tab. So here I am with developers. This is what you see when you log in. As you see, we've seen the word Sandbox used a few times, and we're going to want a Sandbox account. So go to Accounts and click Create Account. We're going to want to create a personal account, and then choose whichever country kind of reflects you. I live in the United Kingdom, so I will be creating one in the United Kingdom, and then click Create. This will now appear here, so I've just made this. And on this three-dot menu next to it appears, they're in the order that they've been made in, so this is the most recent one. Click the three-dot menu and click View/Edit Account. The most important piece of detail that you'll see here is we've been given an email address and a password, and these are our Sandbox login details that we're about to use. So keep this tab open, keep these where you can see them. Go back to your Convertri page. If you didn't before, make sure you've published it so that it reflects the changes we've made, and then click View Page. You can see test mode is on, so this is always on, and this is just our extra bit of reassurance that no money is going to be charged here today. So now click the Open Checkout button. You will get your normal checkout, so you'll need to enter the minimum of these details. And then obviously we're not going to be entering this today because we would be doing that if we wanted to test Stripe, but we want to test PayPal. So click the PayPal box. It will appear like this, and it will say sandbox.paypal. Now, if you've got a PayPal login saved, this is not what you want to use. This is the time when we copy and paste across the Sandbox login that we just created within PayPal. So go back to that tab, go to email, ID, we want to copy that across. I think this is slipped behind here. And then we also want to use the password, paste it in, then click login. It will come up with the details that you'll see in your Sandbox account. So your name will come up as John Doe, for instance, because that's kind of the Sandbox name, so to speak, with an address you don't recognise. But it will show the correct amount, and this is a really important time where you can use it to check that the correct amount is being charged to your users, that it reflects shipping costs, discounts, all of that good stuff. So once you're happy that it is, use the PayPal balance and click Pay Now. This will process and close, and your Convertri page will turn to sending form and then redirect the thank you page that you placed in earlier. We know that this is all working. If we now wanted to say, hey, this works, we want to set this back to live mode. This is really important. So go back to your Convertri page editor, go to products on the top hand toolbar and toggle to live mode to make sure that now you know it works for yourself. You've seen what your modal checkout looks like. You can actually take payment, because otherwise everyone's going to get away scot-free if you're in test mode. So make sure that you are in live mode, and that is how you test your PayPal account within Convertri.